So welcome back to our channel. Today I am here with Alicia Hylton-Daniel, the owner of Hylton-Daniel Design and Construction. We're really excited. We're coming to you from just north of Cancun, Mexico, where one of our suppliers has taken us. We've gotten to build a relationship with you all over a couple trips now and have a huge amount of respect for you. You're a Durham-based design and construction company. Can you tell us a little bit about you and how you got into this industry?
Yes, well, first of all, it's an honor to be among friends that are in the industry that I respect and just enjoy being with. I got in the industry probably in like the mid 2000s. I had a house fire in 2002. The ice storm, serious ice storm came to North Carolina, and the result of that ice storm was catastrophic to the sort of a very mediocre builder grade home that we had purchased. A house caught on fire. It was a wood burning fireplace that we were obviously enjoying, keeping warm in this very, unusual ice storm that hit North Carolina. And so that disaster led me to think about my path. I was a paralegal at the time, studying for the LSATs. And so that house fire changed my way of thinking and my pathway. And I always had a love for design and art. And so I decided to pursue a career or went to school for interior design. So went back to school in my early 30s to pursue interior design.
Awesome.
And sort of never looked back.
That's an amazing story. And not many interior designers then take on construction as well. I know that's been a heavy lift for us to learn this world. I'd love to hear from you on kind of how you transitioned from designer doing some commercial, at a high level. You weren't just doing helping mom and dad figure out where to put the couch. This was high level work.
I think one of the things that people underestimate is like what interior designers do. Like we're not decorators. We can certainly decorate. So when I finished school, I was fortunate enough to land a position with a commercial architectural firm. And we worked on mostly like large fit ups, some ground up construction as well as hospitality. And so my role there very quickly, I think I was just on a very sort of accelerated pathway because I was a person that came in the industry, a little older and really wanted to make sure that I absorbed everything and really wanted to put myself out there. So we did heavy commercial. I did large upfits for like a lot of tech companies. We did lab work as well. But I also introduced hospitality. I had a love for like front of the house. So I started to do a lot of restaurants. Even when we did our tech companies, I would do front of the house. So the lobbies, the break rooms, the conference rooms, things that had to have that sort of wow factor. And I became obsessed with space planning and was really good at it, and also understanding the components of the building. I think people don't realize that interior designers actually go into a space, at least I did, and we would have to measure and create something called an as-built, meaning that we'd have to understand the wall makeup, the floor system, the ceiling, how the ceiling was created, things like plenums and how lights were attached and that sort of a thing. So that sort of set the pathway for the next phase.
Awesome.
In my career.
Well, and it makes sense seeing your work and realizing kind of everything that comes into that, because it is very intentional, and the spaces that we've gone into that you've designed, as well as the pictures that we've seen, we have a lot of respect for, but the industry has respect for as well. You've been in Dwell, you've been recognized by a lot of different, major design groups and associations for the work that you've been doing. So you're a very humble person, but you're no joke.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think one thing that kind of was very sweet, and I'm sure I earned it, was that I started my company in 2017, and I think in that same year I'd made the cover of my local magazine, Durham Magazine, and that was unexpected.
It's a super cool magazine you have to check out if you don't know about it.
But it also gave me visibility, because I think like a lot of people didn't know who I was, or at least in the residential side of it. And so being able to get journals and being able to get press is necessary, specifically if you're someone that's trying to push design.
Okay, so we are coming out of Black History Month into Women's History Month, and I am sitting with somebody right now. How did those two identities impact the work that you've done as a builder, a designer, Is that something that has held you back in different ways? What have you experienced in our industry?
Definitely been an obstacle, not for me, but for the people that see me
Well
or
said.
don't or choose not to see me.
Yep.
And so again, having that visibility, like, being on the cover of Durham Magazine, being represented and having my story told in Dwell for the first 3 modern homes that we built, as well as having people like NC Modernist, approach me and stand behind me and support my work matters. Representation matters, and because there's not enough Black women in the industry, I tend to be overlooked, or the assumption is that Roger, my partner, husband, and just my right hand, but people just assume that he is the general contractor, and I'm the designer. Roger always corrects them, but it's just something that I think is always having to be reinforced or reminded, and it is necessary, even though I've had, some hard trials and tribulations and just things that have just been, and based on race and gender, happen. It is important that I continue on this pathway, just because it will be, the load will be lighter for the next person coming behind me that looks like me.
Yeah.
But also to educate the people that don't, the people that have been too comfortable with the world looking like them, and and just kind of changing that perspective. I am overqualified, and my work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And so I, try to make lasting relationships, but I'm also fine with the people that don't want to make relationships, because I want to be authentic, and I want to surround myself with people that nurture me and that I can nurture. I don't want to, if people don't have a problem with, who I am and what I look like or whatever their problem may be, that's not my 100%.
My problem. I think that's really well said.
Yeah.
We call that, making sure that we have the ideal client profile figured out.
Yeah.
And so our favorite projects are finding that client that found who we are and identified with our values as a company and said, we want you to build our house, and it's intentional, and that goes really well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. You have the background and the ability to grow a behemoth of a construction company. You could, I truly believe that you could do a lot, and we really value your mentorship and leadership in the industry in North Carolina. But what is it that drives you to stay small and intentional, and how do you decide what projects you do and don't take on?
Yeah, there are many facets of that question. One, I really wanted to focus on design and being intentional and being a design forward company, where when clients come to us, their expectation is that I'm the one doing the design. If I'm a one-woman show, and certainly, with help from many, we really can't spread ourselves too thin. I don't have the capacity to really teach. Design is subjective, and so you can't really teach people how to think like you. Ideally, I came in this industry really not to do a lot of client work, but it is necessary for revenue, and I was hoping to really do more design, build, development, like really sort of like set the industry and be able to purchase revitalizing an old home that we would either offer for sale or even keep as like a long-term. And then also to even, my dream would always be to develop a Hylton-Daniel, design neighborhood. And so as those things are sort of out of reach, we didn't really want to do anything we would have regrets. Being big is a lot, I think I wouldn't be able just to step away. I just felt like it would just be so much more to manage. But taking the design aspect of our company and understanding the different branches that we could do without going so big. So for instance, and it was Roger's idea, like we could do short-term rentals, we could do long-term rentals, and that would be able to sustain us and also showcase our design.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then we do client work, but we're very particular, right? We're very intentional. And so we only take maybe 4 client jobs a year, 5 at most.
Yeah.
And they're big ones. They're usually mid to large size, where our clients have to move out, and they're usually a year-long project. And so far that's worked because we've honed it in. It feels more rooted. It feels more manageable. I would love to be big, but I think I've just kind of organically let the company and just let my ideology and my goals and my values kind of set the pathway for the size of the company. And right now, this is the size of the company.
We see it as a superpower. We think that you guys have so much depth to what you've done, and just seeing your ability to really like be a part of the community that you build in. It's something that we value a lot at Roll Construction, is like, we don't want to be that builder that just comes in from out of town and puts up a neighborhood. We want to be a part of the fabric of the community we're building, and y'all are perfect examples of that.
Yeah, and I think it's important, like, you know this, like, that client wants to be able to see me. Like, they want to know, even after the design, and Roger kind of manages the construction, but I do walkthroughs, and I do come in at pivotal moments, right? I do the walkthroughs with all of the trades, the details have to be addressed, and I do, details of tile work and kind of put those, where they need to go. And then there's that constant touchdown with that client, whether it's weekly, and they can, see me. I'm there on that job site, which is essential. Gives them a sense of comfort, and that we're not giving them a secondhand product, right? We are the ones actually building it for them.
We've been so lucky to have so many different people, you included, that have been mentors and leaders for us coming into the industry, because this wasn't what we studied in school. This wasn't something that we had all the knowledge on, and so we've been blessed by people who have come before us and really shared what that looks like. I wonder if there's been anybody in your journey along the way that's helped make a difference for you.
One, kind of where I started, Meredith College. I can't say enough about, a couple of professors that I've had there. Dr. Burpitt was definitely a mentor that always made me feel comfortable in the room where, there weren't many Black women in the interior design program then, and probably still now.
Yes.
I was fortunate to receive or be recognized and receive the Alumni Award a few years back by Dr. Burpitt.
Wow.
So that was like a full circle moment.
Huge honor.
Yeah. Working in the industry, the architectural firms I worked in were very male dominated, but I will say this, there were some wonderful mentors or people that took me under their wing and made me feel like no question was stupid, that I could ask anything. And there was an architect I worked with at Hager Smith. I think he recently retired. His name was Scott Idle. I then, stayed there for 7 years and went on to MHA Works in Durham because I wanted to be closer to home. And there was a gentleman there named Barry, to this day, I can't say enough of. He was a wonderful architect and friend, and again, just made me feel comfortable, and I worked alongside him, and he knew I was very creative, and so kind of led me to like grow my wings and encouraged me to become a general contractor. And I was studying when I was at the firm, and the accolades that I received from him. And even when I went into the industry and I would have a couple of questions, I could always reach out to Barry, a friend of mine who was an architect, or is an architect still at this time, that worked with me, the MHA firm, my friend James Carter. Can't say enough about James. He's African American, and we just really vibed off of each other and supported each other in community, especially being Black people in the industry, as well as the folks at Evoke in Durham, Terry Canada and Edwin. So there's a really nice community of like-minded designers. In the construction field, it's a little harder because there's just not a lot of people that tend to be welcoming, or just in terms of look like me. But I will say that there is a construction group, a commercial builder, Gateway, who I've known since I was a commercial designer, that when I said I was going to start my own business, just offered so much support and advice. And sort of told me, not to falter, to believe in myself. So they've been some great community folks. And then just being a part of Preservation Durham as well, and local community in Durham.
I also know that there are a lot of people who would call you their mentor and a leader in the industry who they've looked up to. Is there anything that you want to share with the next generation of designers and builders coming into what is a tough industry to break into?
Yeah, I always have regrets because I'm just so busy. I actually, do all of the design work, and I feel like I don't get the opportunity just to reach out enough. I am excited to see more women enter the field, and more women feel comfortable and confident and kind of trust in their abilities. Hope Renovation, which is a nonprofit, they obviously have a program where they teach anyone that identifies as female or cisgender. The trades have been, sort of an inspiration to me, even though I have sat on panels in the past. Organizations like NAWIC, the National Association for Women in Construction. So having that common ground, and then being able to see that, meeting women that are now general contractors, is, from where I started my firm in 2017, and we're in 2026 now, and I just can't believe the amount of women general contractors I've met in our area alone, and so that's very inspiring.
It's a growing group of people, and it's super exciting. I love the work that Hope Renovation's doing.
Yes.
I believe they've been to some of your job sites.
They have. They just recently came and saw one, and it made my freaking week. I was so happy to be able to show them a product. We actually showed them 2 houses side by side, one that was just about 90% complete and one that was still in framing.
Oh, that's perfect.
So they got the opportunity to kind of understand it and walk it.
Because I know that they've had to go through a lot to get to this point, but it seems like the industry has really gotten behind them in a lot of ways, which I love seeing. And we've had the opportunity to have them out to one of our houses too, and just seeing so many women that are passionate about getting into the trades, but they're just looking for that open door that hasn't previously been easy to get through. Our team just got really excited about seeing that on site. So.
Well, I enjoy the camaraderie and the friendship that I have with Will Construction, and just continue to, say thank you to you guys for your friendship and all that you guys do.
Same to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you've liked what you've seen today, if you can please click below, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you can see what's coming next. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you.